It is time for another season, ladies and gentlemen. It's day one, Tazin TV 2021, and we're just getting ready to get on the plane. We're in Stony Rapids right now, and we're gonna jump on the plane, cruise over to Tazin Lake, and start Tazin TV. It's day by day this year. Welcome to day one. That's a new personal best pike here.
I'm still shaking.
Giving you a workout. We got trees down all over the place.
It's time to shine.
Oh, I was quite excited to get into camp. It's wasn't here since last summer, so I was looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, you can't even count the days. And then when you get here, it's even better.
Fairly excited to come here to Tazin. More than fairly, I guess. I know Trevor for a long time, so of course he's been here since about 2006, I think, in total. So 2005 or 2006. So of course my work schedule as a guide also, it didn't allow me the opportunity to come until obviously COVID hit, and with the borders being closed, I didn't have the opportunities to come up here and be part of it with Trevor and of course his team he's put together here with you and Barry, and just more than honored to be here and share some of this piece of heaven with him.
Yeah, it was tough coming into camp this year. We were quite excited, and then when we got here, of course, super high water levels washed out a lot of our beach, damaged some of our equipment.
How many feet high do you think it is?
I don't know, man. Guys, everything I've been here. As well as trees laying all over. It was a big wind, and it must have been a heavy snow, and a real wet snow early, it seemed like, and then more heavy snow or whatnot, or some kind of an ice storm, because there was all trees everywhere laying down. Some on buildings, some through roofs, all over the pass, everywhere. We'll definitely not be lacking in firewood for a number of years.
Whoa.
It must be overflowing.
It would have been nice to see what it was, for sure. Probably a couple feet, I would imagine, of wet snow or something. And
that's part of camp life. You get here, you expect, you hope for the best, but you always expect it to be
Trees down all over.
Somewhat, whether it's bears or people or wind and trees and who knows, right? Ice. I mean, look at the beach is gone. Ice takes out docks, ice takes out stuff. So yeah, I'm not overly surprised by it, but it's just one of those things. You just keep on going and clean it up and move on to the next thing.
Well, we made it to Tazin. It wasn't raining the whole time. The weather that I looked at said it was only 18% chance of rain here. I'd say it's 100% now. But we got here, water level is really high in the lake, so our sand beach is completely covered right now, and we got trees down all over the place. Trees there, a couple of trees down here. So far, looks like all the structures have made it, but we gotta unload the plane quick and find out.
Yeah, there is no beach anymore. Now the front yard has become the beach, apparently, especially if the water goes up anymore, but I don't know how it can. It's 50 feet back in the trees in some spots, which it should be good spawning years for the pike, though. As long as it doesn't dry up too fast, they should have some great spawn.
Well, I spoke too soon when I said we didn't get the damage to the structures, because we came into the cabin we were gonna stay in, and sure enough, that light's coming from the outside. That's not good. So we got a branch through the roof. And also one on that cabin, or that's kind of our storage shed. But and that guy broke off and is poking through the roof. A little wet back here, boys. And I only brought one pair of shoes with. It's gonna be wet feet all week. That's all right. Worst things could happen. How's it going, Barry?
So much for starting out with nice dry feet.
Oh yeah. These are the only shoes I brought too. I messed up. Well, you know, they always joke about, so you want to own a fishing camp, or you want to be a fishing guide, be an outfitter, whatever. This is the stuff that you have to deal with, you know? Yeah, you get to enjoy life most of the time in a really cool part of the world, but you spend more time doing this than you do out on that lake out there catching big lake trout. There's a lot of work that goes into it. A lot of cutting trees, building docks, maintenance, just all kinds of stuff. Dealing with bears, dealing with pine martens, squirrels, mice. There's a lot of work to it, but you know, at the end of the day, when you can spend time in a place like this, it makes all those things worthwhile.
That's unreal.
Well, Trevor, you got a chance to walk through camp. What do you think?
Well, we thought we were just going to slide in here for a nice 7 easy days of fishing, but it looks like we got a little cleanup to do. A couple of roofs to repair, holes for roofs from trees. It was a nasty winter up here this year, obviously, as you can see. You guys probably see already. So, well, the joys of working in the north, right? A little bit of work ahead of us. Nice to be home.
Well, that's just it. I was saying, owning a camp like this is always going to be a lot of work. Yeah. But there's a reason that you put up with that kind of work, right?
It's paradise.
It's a cool place.
Cool paradise.
All right, get back to cutting wood.
All right.
A lot of work to be done. And then we're coming for you, lake trout.
Some pike up in the island too as well along there.
Just kind of stopped the leaks in a few cabins and did a little roofing, and then we went out fishing, I think.
Well, we got a few things in order anyways and got some trees cleaned up and a little bit, and of course made some stuff for food and for supper, and then decided we head out for a couple hours.
I think we were trolling 10 minutes and all of a sudden, you know, what was it, 43? Yeah, just nuts, you know, big, fat, beautiful fish.
Didn't take them long, bing bang boom, 10 minutes, first one, hey? Awesome.
Oh yeah, we got 43 and a half, and of course, anywhere in the world, those are a big trout, a big fish. But when you see the pictures and the expectations that you have, that's a hard thing, is you're pushing expectations. So even me, as a guy that's fished all over the world and caught many big fish, including big lake trout, you're always hoping to get into one bigger.
Well, it's been a long day, but a good one, because we're at Tazin Lake, ladies and gentlemen. We got on the plane at 2 o'clock at Stony Rapids and flew in to Tazin Lake Lodge here. It's about 10 o'clock. This is how bright it is this time of year. It'll stay pretty light until 2-ish, 2 o'clock, between 2 and 3, somewhere in there. It'll get dark for about a half hour, and then it just starts getting light again. It's pretty wild, so you can have some late nights fishing, and I think that's what we're gonna have tonight, because we finally did enough work and said the weather is too nice not to be on the lake chasing Moby around. So one boat's already out there. Trevor's finding that secret lure that's gonna get the job done, and then we're fishing on day one, Tazin TV. Before we go, we had to find, I want to tell you a little bit about, if you've never watched Tazin TV before, a little bit about what Tazin TV is about. It's about big fish. But it's also some cool stories too, like the story of this hook right here.
And last year, after being up here and seeing some of the colors that worked and some that didn't work, I painted some custom flatfish this year, put some little better hooks on them, and yeah, I ended up getting on a red and white flatfish, kind of painted like a red and white daredevil, and added some flair to them, and there's always a little pride in that too.
How's it feel, Jamie?
It's gonna be a long battle.
That's good. We had decided that night to head out for another evening of fishing after Chef Steve Driver provided another huge meal.
Definitely a good decision to come back out, right? Probably not after Steve filled my belly and I stick this rod in it.
Yeah. Oh, there he is, right there. Oh, good fish, good fish. Oh, yeah. Got him. All right. Nice.
And it was a 46 by 24. We've been out here tonight for about 7 to 10 minutes and already got hooked up and got him in the boat. 46 by 24. Awesome. Huge bite. I can't lift him up too well. Congratulations. Thank you. He's a big one.
Well, after watching a little bit of weather move in, we decided to just stay back and get some more work done for just a little bit. And the first thing, after a cold, rainy day like this, Trevor, is to build a fire, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You got her. So we just started out with a little bit of Kleenex and leftover Kleenex paper towel, right? And then next thing we do, put on a little kindling. So a little bit bigger twigs there. We went with the birch. There's trees falling all over, and birch is great because even if it's been wet, birch bark will always burn no matter what. You can take it and dip in the water and squeeze it out and it's still wet and it'll still burn. So I use birch when it's weather's like this. Got the birch, I got a little bit more outside. I'm going to break up and throw them on. You always start with small pieces that go to bigger, bigger, and bigger, right? Once you get done with your kindling, then you go up to your fuel, which is your logs and your split wood, right?
You will actually build it so you got you know, like an intake, and so you got a little place to light it and a place for air to get in there?
Absolutely. Well, underneath there, as long as you get in with a match. And then I like running the sticks this way when you're inside of the wood stove, because then when you crack the damper open here, it draws the air through and then up through the flue, right, out of the chimney, and so it forces the air through. So if you put your sticks this way, a lot of times you're blocking off the air so it won't light, especially for something like this where we just want quick coals and get some good heat in going in the cabin here and get some clothing dried out after kind of a wet day.
Fire it up.
You got her.
Yeah, tinder first, small cotton ball, small, real light stuff that'll burn easily, and then kindling to your next size up, and then to your actual fuel, which is your logs and your split logs, right? So, but yeah, you got to have all three of those components in the right amount and with enough wind to blow through to get a good fire. Just had lots of things on the go and wanted to get things to a certain level and make camp a little comfortable for us and clear the pass off with the trees and that, and you know, just a number of things that needed to be done. So I opted to just stick around and kind of get some of those things done and ready so that day 2 morning we were ready to go and, you know, good to go.
How hard is that to be sitting here and not be fishing?
It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough, but it's hard to walk into camp and see it in total disarray at the same time. So, you know, for me, it was a bit of a priority that I wanted to do a number of things before we went out.
Come on, buddy. Good beauty.
We grew up together in elementary school even, so I've known Trevor since I was probably about 8 years old.
Played hockey together with him and his family. I lived with him and his family over the number of years off and on at various times in my life, so it was pretty cool to have him up.
Nice job, Jan.
Thanks, bud. Thanks, guys.
Been a pretty good night, Trevor.
Yeah, another good night.